I want to share with you an incredible story about a shidduch that I was involved in. It happened a number of years ago. I was at a hotel for Shabbos. I was spending the Shabbos meal together with the Cohen family from Staten Island. They were an Israeli family that came to spend the Shabbos with us. And there I was sitting at the table trying to find some common ground with the family. And as we talked about the baba ganoush and the kibbeh and all the different foods, I tried to make some conversation. I was having a hard time until we came upon the topic of shidduchim. Mr. Cohen had a daughter who was there. Her name was Adeli. Adeli was in shidduchim for many years, he told me. She can't seem to find the right guy. Maybe you could help us, Rabbi. I started to speak to Adeli. And she told me, Rabbi, I need some chizik. It's not easy. I'm in shidduchim for so long. I keep trying. I try to keep my emunah strong and my betachin. But it's so hard. When will Hashem give me that shidduch that I've been waiting for? And as we're talking, I finally think of something. I say, perhaps I have a shidduch idea for you. He says, really? You do? And I start talking to the father, telling him about, I dabble in shidduchim sometimes here and there. Maybe I have an idea. Now really at the time, I didn't really have any idea of who I knew was an Israeli that would be the right fit for this girl. But I had to try. I had to give it my all. Try to help another yid. And so after Shabbos, I said, you know what? I'm going to get back to you. I took down her number, the father's number, and I said, I think I have an idea. I came back to Lakewood. I told my wife, I was thinking about the two Israeli guys who work in the local supermarket. These were two fellows who were managing the store, fine people, and I thought maybe one of them would be for her. Anyway, I took my children home and dropped off my wife, and I headed for the supermarket. She said, where are you going? I said, what do you mean? I have a shidduch to make. She couldn't believe it. There I was. I ran off to the store. As I'm walking up to the store, I'm thinking to myself, which one? There were two men, both fine people, both fine young B'nai Torah who are trying to grow, but which one is the right one? Now, I thought to myself, as I'm walking there, one of them was short and one of them was tall. You know what? She's not so tall. The father's not so tall. I'm going to go with the shorter one. Let's give it a shot. I come inside and I meet Yossi and I say, hey, Yossi, I got to talk to you about a shidduch that I thought of. He says, really? You have a shidduch for me? He says, yeah. And I start telling him about this girl who I met over the Shabbaton. I think it's a great idea, Yossi. What do you say? He says, Rabbi, if you think it's a good idea, hey, I'll give it a shot. There was no resumes. We didn't have to go through all the investigations that a shidduch goes through. He just said, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And I called up the girl. I said, listen, the boy says yes. What do you say? He says, sure, I'll give it a try too. It was the easiest shidduch I ever tried to set up. Next thing I hear, they're going out. Things are going well. He tells me everything is going great. I've been going out for a while. A few weeks later, he tells me he's going to Staten Island for Shabbos. And that's when I knew that things are really going great. And sure enough, a few weeks later, I get the call. There's a mazel tov. They're engaged. I couldn't believe it. They asked me if I could come and speak by the l'chaim. I came. It was such a simcha. She was so full of gratitude to Hashem. And this young man said, Rabbi, you have no idea what this did for me also. He needed chizik too. And Hashem had sent him the right shliach. Baruch Hashem, I had that schus. It was a few years later. One day I'm in the supermarket again, shopping for Shabbos. And as I'm walking up one of the aisles, there's a lady with a shopping cart, and she bumps into me literally. And she says, oh, excuse me, Rabbi. And I look up and she says, Rabbi, do you remember me? And sure enough, who was it? It was Odeli. And in her cart were her two sons. Their tzitzis were out. They were yeshiva boys. And she said, Rabbi, I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done. And here are my two sons. It's unbelievable. It was such a great feeling for me to think about it. That here I was on a Shabbos. I didn't have to look across the table and try to do anything. But you know what? I said, I'm going to try to do something. I'm going to try to make a shidduch. And if I wouldn't have tried to make that shidduch that day, that Shabbos, then that shopping cart would have never bumped into me. Today, my friends, is a day that's mesugal to daven. Tu B'Shvat, we know, is a day that's brought down in the Svarim that your tefillos can be heard, especially those, says the Arizal, tefillos about Shidduchim are heard on this day. You have the opportunity today to send in your names to Yad La'achim. Yad La'achim is going to be sending out Talmidei Chachamim to the Amukah, to Baba Sali's Kever, to Meron, and to the Arizal. You have this great opportunity, and it's at no cost. There's no charge for this. You could send in your name for free. You know, we're all involved in Shidduchim. We want Shidduchim to be made, but we don't always know how to do it. We don't know the right boy. We don't know the right girl. But today you could do something. Today you could send in your name to Yad La'achim at yadl.org. Send in your name. It's free of charge. There's no charge for this. You send in your name that Talmidei Chachamim will daven for you. Be'ez Hashem will go straight to Shemayim, and Hashem will hear your tefillah, and you too will be zoicha to build that Bayis Nemen B'Yisrael.